curious, engaging your local farms and the air you breathe right now are regulated by a single, highly active ecosystem thousands of miles away. This is the Amazon basin. It covers 5.5 million square kilometers, stretching across 9 different countries. It functions as a massive carbon sink. Every day, the dense vegetation pulls in billions of tons of global carbon dioxide and cycles oxygen back into the atmosphere, helping stabilize the chemical makeup of our air. But this biological machine relies on an intricate balance. Every plant, insect, and predator plays a specific mechanical role, and removing even a fraction of them weakens the entire structure. Understanding the mechanics of this distant jungle is essential, because a failure here translates directly to a failure in the global climate we rely on. To see how this machine was built, we have to rewind millions of years. Before the forest existed, the center of South America was covered by a vast inland sea. Then came the geologic catalyst. Tectonic plates collided and pushed up a towering wall of rock along the western coast, the Andes Mountains. This massive new barricade reversed the continent's plumbing. Ancient rivers flowing westward suddenly hit the Andes Ridge and bounced backward. With nowhere to drain, those reversed waters pooled, forming a massive, humid vacuum spanning that same basin. The rise of the Andes created a geologically engineered container, built to incubate a specific, high-density version of life. The result of that ancient humid vacuum is what we see today, an unbroken green canopy that stretches out to the horizon. Pumping straight through the center of this vegetation is the Amazon River. It pushes the largest volume of fresh water in the world directly into the Atlantic Ocean. This massive artery sustains specialized aquatic life, like the pink river dolphin, which relies on these deep, nutrient-rich channels to hunt. Above the water, millions of plants compete for sunlight. Some trees shoot rapidly past the competition, breaking through the dense roof to form an emergent layer that catches the brightest rays. Just below that sits the dense canopy layer. This thick roof of leaves and branches is where the vast majority of the jungle's wildlife operates, including slow-moving leaf eaters like the sloth. Descending into the dim understory reveals smaller, highly adapted species. Here, tiny insects and brightly colored poison dart frogs act as population controllers, keeping the ecosystem balanced. Finally, at the very bottom lies the dark, moist forest floor. This nutrient-rich foundation is the prime hunting ground for top-tier predators like the jaguar. This vertical supply chain relies on every layer and every predator within it to remain structurally sound. But this machine also includes a human component. Over 400 indigenous tribes have integrated themselves into this web for thousands of years. They actively operate within the ecosystem by hunting sustainably and harvesting medicinal plants at a rate that avoids depleting the forest's biological resources. While outside interests often view the jungle as a collection of harvestable timber and farmland, these communities see the forest as their home and their identity. By protecting their territory from over-extraction, these tribes act as the vital immune system of the Amazon, defending the mechanics of the forest from collapse. Today, however, that balance is breaking down. Aggressive deforestation for farming, logging, and commercial development is rapidly carving barren tracts of land out of the healthy green forest. To speed up the clearing process, vast sections are intentionally set on fire. This destroys habitats in minutes and releases years of trapped carbon straight into the atmosphere. When the canopy burns, the local domino effect is immediate. Specialized species vanish entirely. The soil dries out, and indigenous communities are permanently displaced. But the damage doesn't stay local. Stripping away these trees reduces the amount of moisture released into the air, which alters global weather patterns and creates expanding drought zones across entirely different continents. When the Amazon's structural layers are stripped away, the global recycling of carbon and moisture begins to stall, directly impacting the climate systems that regulate the rest of the globe. To stop this collapse, countermeasures are being deployed on the ground. Governments and NGOs are working to establish protected ecological areas, enforce sustainable farming practices, and launch reforestation efforts. They are also utilizing new technologies. Activists now use real-time satellite interfaces and digital heat maps to pinpoint and intercept illegal mining and poaching operations. Yet, these local efforts must overcome the massive scale of the threat. Stopping the destruction now requires global cooperation and the legal empowerment of the indigenous stewards who have protected this land for generations. The Amazon remains the primary regulator of our global climate. Protecting its architecture ensures it continues to shield us. Dismantling it means losing the engine that makes our future environment possible.